Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 20 of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who are the street rats with me tonight?
Stefan JD.
And Stuart Hughes.
And Tiffany Albertin.
Our special guest tonight. And before we get going too far, just want to give a shout out to another podcast you guys get a chance to listen to, Groovin' Movies. Link will also be in the show notes. It's a podcast about vintage horror, cinema pre-Hays Code Hollywood. So you're talking about movies from the 30s. I couldn't remember what the Hays Code was, but if you guys get a chance, please take a listen to that. I know.
You need to pronounce that word better.
We're going to go with it. And this week, since I picked the game, I think I will introduce it. We are playing Aladdin for the Genesis and the SNES and the Game Boy Color and the Sega Game Gear.
Not all of us.
It also happens to take place pre-30s.
Oh, okay, pre-30s. That's how much I remember. He even told me what
takes place
about
in
the
pre-30s. Takes place in like medieval times, I think.
No, I don't think it's that far. It's Aladdin, yeah. I was
Aladdin's
talking about
gotta be. I don't know what time period Aladdin takes place in.
a long time ago, in a city far away that doesn't exist. That people wanted to bomb.
Like it's not even a real city, is it?
No, people wanted to bomb it though.
Weird.
There's
The fake city.
Yeah, yeah. There's things on Facebook I've read that there were people who supported a certain individual that wanted to bomb Agrabah.
Because it's all Aladdin's fault.
They're tired of those street rats. Everything's Aladdin's
Based
fault.
on 1001 Nights.
Yeah.
Which I think takes place in. I think that also takes place in like a fantasy city.
Oh, probably. I mean, it's probably the 1300s, or I mean, somewhere long, long ago, not anything recent.
Can we actually announce what we played?
Yeah, we did a little bit at some point.
Okay. People might have picked it up.
It's okay. It's based on Aladdin and the Magic Lamp from 1001 Nights.
In Iraq in the 9th or 10th century.
Okay, there's your answer.
Oh, we're all Googling right now.
Google's wonderful for podcasts. All right, well, as we introduced our game, who has memories of this game before we picked it for the show? Anyone play it back in the 90s?
Me.
Yep.
I did not.
You were barely alive in the 90s.
Hey.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
I was born in 87, so not that young.
That's what Okay, never mind.
I know. Okay, I never played this game either. I didn't even know this game existed until when I first met Tiff, and it was one of the games that she wanted me to put on her computer.
I think I could have assumed it existed, but I had never actually heard of it.
No, I could
This
have.
is that period where, again, there were 1,000,001, 1,001.
Yeah, there were so many licensed games back then, but I always stayed away from them. They didn't interest me. They weren't my thing. I still stay away from them, except when there's achievements involved. That's another story. So we had picked mainly the Genesis version. I think I know everyone played the Genesis version for this game, which I think it's funny because there's actually, which I didn't know this until this morning, there are actually 3 different versions of this game. There's the Genesis version, which is developed by Virgin Games, came out in '93, came out for Sega Genesis, Amiga.
The best version, by the way.
No, it's not. Amiga, DOS, Game Boy, and Game Boy Color. The Game Boy Color one came out in 2000, I
So
think.
what did the little handheld then?
Game Gear?
No, the little, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, you're talking about the Tiger Interactive stuff. That doesn't count.
Well, excuse me, princess. You're welcome.
No, I mean, it's a decent platformer, like the Genesis version. I mean, it's pretty basic. You go through most of the movie. I don't think they really added anything that wasn't in the movie. I mean, there's different levels, of course, but they all kind of fit into the movie, which I have not seen in so many years.
You think they're going to remake it now with the new movie?
The game? Oh, no. No, God, no. It would be, yeah. No,
Actually, I
Sorry
think the
about
Sega
that.
version.
My sister woke up, so.
I think the Sega version is actually the one that worked with Disney animators so that they could get like the characters correct in the game to look like the movie, which is why I prefer it over the Super Nintendo one. Actually, fun fact, Shinji Mikami worked on the Super Nintendo one.
Really?
The guy who, for people who don't know, the guy who basically brought about Resident Evil. And he's actually he's actually quoted as saying that he prefers the Virgin Interactive Aladdin over his own game. So there you go.
It's just so fluid. Like, everything looks really... Like, it reminds me of, like, the early Prince of Persia games.
Yeah.
That is a very good comparison to them.
Yeah.
I mean, they do kind of feel like that.
They have kind
I
of
also
the
wanna-
same basic. I don't want to say time period, but they have the same basic look to them. But they're both very like flowy.
Oh, and I also want to point out that the game came out a year after the movie came out, in '93, and the movie came out in November '92.
I was.
After
You were,
Aladdin
like,
came
sick.
out. Jesus.
So, which I think is kind of funny because you think that you're gonna have a movie game, you're gonna want it somewhat close to the release. I mean, that's what they went, especially later on. But this came out a year after the movie, exactly a year. It came out in November.
The game came out a week before I was born.
You
I thought Aladdin came out after I was born. Interesting.
learned something new today.
I was like 10. I guess I'm the old person in the room today.
Yeah, me and Mike were 5.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, 5
Yeah.
or 6, yeah.
The baby.
The baby.
Just like your picture here on Skype. The
Which is
baby.
fun because I think I have the deepest voice. So
Oh, but
I like Babu from Mega Man Legends.
I mean-
Babu.
I don't know. I mean, the first couple of levels. I mean, like the Agrabah one. They kind of fit, at least in the Gensis version. They do fit the movie. You're running around. You're jumping around. The platforming is all solid. You can throw apples. You can swing your sword. Who could
The
fucking
whole game seems to be based off like the opening of Aladdin, in which she throws an apple and picks up a sword and like kind of jokingly fights with a dude. And they were like, "Yep, that's gonna be the entire game," which is fine. I mean, it was a fun game, but it was just really funny that like Jasmine doesn't even show up in it until the very last minute.
She isn't. Don't you meet her in the Gensis version, like in a cutscene before?
Mm-mm.
Oh wow! I played
She
too many
shows
versions
up,
of
like at some point you're just told that. I think like at the very beginning of the game, it does this kind of bizarre thing where it shows you every element in the game. Like it shows you like the Aladdin face next to the genie face, next to a genie lamp, next to the
Oh,
apple,
like
and it's like, hey, here's
the
what all this
little
stuff
market
is.
stand. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a low resolution image of like a legend of the game.
He's got a sword.
Yeah,
You
we all got
idiots. We've all got swords.
Yeah, it was. I
Get
was
'em.
That would be great.
Oh.
It'd be funny if
I
this
was
game
thinking-
came out and it was like the 007 GoldenEye of Disney games.
I mean, it's a decent game. I mean, I didn't enjoy it, but that's just because I don't really like platformers, and this game made me angry. 'Cause, like, okay, we haven't gotten there, but the fucking bats in this game are
Oh
hell.
my god, the bats are
Every
pretty
30
funny.
seconds was save state. Every 30 seconds.
That's about accurate.
Oh my gosh.
Left.
The bats are just
More like 10.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Every jump, every swing.
Well, because the bat, like every other enemy comes at you, and the bats will just fly in a circle around you and attack from any angle.
And
I
they
hate
can
the bats.
they can hit you 3 times or so. It feels like
Oh yeah,
in one little cycle, and you're like, what the hell? Like, oh, there was a lot of swearing going on in this game. I was playing it first time I started playing it yesterday, and she was watching me. I had to stop because she's like, why are you doing that? You're doing it wrong. Why don't you do this? And I'm like, I'm done.
every other enemy hits you and gets you like the iframes. The bats do not give you. I think they give you one iframe, and so yeah, they just fly through you and destroy your health. It's
She was like, those are enemies? Yeah, I'm sorry.
It was a taste of my own medicine because when she's played certain games, and I'd be like, what are you doing? Do that. And I'm like, oh, this is how it feels. I better shut up next time.
so you just have to make Mike play licensed games on the Genesis from like the early '90s.
It won't go good.
That'll be
Lion
karma.
King.
It's very angry.
I don't. Back in this genre, or not genre, back in this time of gaming, the only games I really played were RPGs, so Final Fantasy stuff where I could level up, and everything was turn based, and it was nice and pleasant, and not too, not too threatening.
What? You're saying Aladdin was threatening?
And it was many things, honey,
Oh, so
many
sorry.
terrible things. As you can probably tell, I did not enjoy this game at all.
I wonder what's gonna happen.
It's funny that you didn't, because I usually hate platformers, or at least I don't have the patience for them. And
I don't either.
actually really enjoyed playing this one.
Oh, the first boss fight where you fight the stupid guard in the top right corner where he's throwing down barrels at you, and he's. Oh, I was getting so mad at that fight because I ran out of apples, and it's like if you run out of apples, you're just done. I mean, if you cannot beat him without apples, and I'm just like, what?
I kept saying, "Let me do it for you."
One thing I couldn't tell, yeah, there were a lot of boss fights that you could only do with apples. Like the whole
Yeah.
Jafar fight is you
Yeah,
have to
that's
have
how
like
I
60
experienced
apples going
myself.
in.
I didn't have any apples at the end, and so I couldn't fight Jafar. So I technically didn't finish it. Sorry, guys.
They don't tell you that,
Uh.
and if you fail and die, then there aren't nearly enough apples to get on the way between the 20 feet to like walk back into the Jafar room to defeat him. Like it just kind of locks you. Like that's just that is a bad design, but otherwise I thought it was pretty fun.
Well, you have
I think that's a weird fight though, because he's like all the way off the screen. Basically, you can't even see him when you're fighting him. You have to like just blindly throw apples. Like, I think I hit him,
and he like sucks you towards him.
Yeah,
for some reason, and then spits fire out at you. So okay, so the final room. Let's lay out what this room looks like. You walk into this big room, and it's like it's kind of like a Metroid boss fight area. It's like a flat floor and then 4 platforms that you can jump on. And at first the game, like I was like, oh, so these platforms are going to be important. I'm going to have to jump on them. And sure enough, later in the boss fight, he starts like sending bits of flame through the floor at you, and you have to jump up to get away from them.
right.
But if you jump on the platforms just immediately catch on fire and kill you.
Yep.
So
You can't jump on
the only
them.
way to avoid the flames on the floor is to go in between the platforms, and you get like maybe 2 feet left or right where you have to jump over the flames, and it's such a specific jump. I was getting so angry at that part.
You had to time it just right. Jump, throw an apple. Jump, throw an apple. And it was,
And when you throw an apple, you fall down sooner, so you actually have to continue jumping until like one is a little stretched out more than the others, and then you can throw the apple. But it takes like 30 fucking apples.
Well, and after you beat Jafar in his human form, then he turns to the snake form, and then you got to shoot more apples at him.
How I finished that fight was, I just got mad, and I was like, "Fuck it," and I ran at him, and I had full health, and I just slammed the throw button as quick as I could, and I got down to literally like the last sliver of health, and I beat him, and I was like, "Oh my god, I fucking did it!" I just juggernauted Jafar at the end. I was like, "Fuck you!"
Yeah, there's only one game so far in this list that made me really yell "fuck you," and that was when I beat Banjo. But it wasn't "fuck you" to Grantilda; it was "fuck you" to DJ.
I got all the games I played. Like, while they've made me annoyed, I haven't been angry at. Aladdin at one point made me angry.
Made me angry,
but I still enjoyed it.
Many times.
This morning I got up and I was playing it, and I was playing it when she wasn't around, so she couldn't watch me and get mad at me. Like, you're doing it wrong, because I was in this game. But no, you're not.
No, I'm not.
But when
the little tiny, like the short assassin that shows up, I think it's a optional fight. I think this game is an optional boss fight.
which is the short? I mean, you're talking about the one where you get the flutes.
Oh, you mean Hazim?
Is that the name of the really short assassin, Kazim?
Yeah, Hazim or something.
Yeah.
He's like, I am Hazim, the humble thief.
Yeah, I don't think you need to attack him, but he's like on one of the maps.
With
And I ran into him, and it was a really easy fight, and I was like, well,
the flute,
okay.
that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you have to, otherwise they won't give you the rope.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I felt like it was optional, and I was like, why was that there?
No, you just corner them and you like slash at them. That's all.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Again, everything in this game is really just like slamming one button and then moving to slamming another button.
Like, one thing I hated about this game that really hit me in the Cave of Wonders is that he has a weird kind of like a jump. If you're not lined up right, you hit the button, he just won't jump. He'll just like, that's nice, and go in the lava.
Oh yeah.
That's what I thought too, but I think it actually was where his feet were placed. His feet weren't on the right platform. He just wouldn't jump.
You have to hold the jump button, I think.
It was
You know, I actually looked this up because I was curious about it. Like, who made the genie in the lamp and the Cave of Wonders and all that? And apparently, in Arabic mythology, King Solomon bound djinn, other words, genies, to metal vessels and rings and used them as servants. And then after his death, he left them secured in places like the Cave of Wonders from evil men. And the reason why all the treasures there is because he was reminded of his father David's humble origin and something. I wrote notes here. And all the riches in the caves are actually illusions. They're not real. So you couldn't even take them with you, even if you somehow got out with them. They're more like they're just a trial, like it is in the movie.
Okay. The only story I ever remember about Solomon is the Judgment of Solomon, where I think everyone should know it, where 2 mothers come to him claiming to be the mother of a baby, and he's like, "Well, we'll just cut the baby in half, and you can each have half of the baby."
Why not?
Oh God.
And one woman's okay with it, and the other woman freaks out. And he's like, "Well, you must be the mother because you disapproved of me killing this child."
I mean, it worked, didn't it?
I just like the idea of a woman being just
Being like,
anyone.
sure, cut the baby in half.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
Not my
I don't
baby.
have a kid, I want a kid, but I'll settle for half of a dead kid.
Was this in Alabama?
Yeah, it was King
That was
Solomon
funny.
of Alabama, of Greenbow.
Oh, and I wanted to mention this earlier, but I completely forgot. I did an Aladdin poll in a bunch of different groups to kind of see which game people had played more of, and 247 people had voted they played the Genesis version more. So I mean,
The SNES version didn't have the damn sword, and that was the cool part.
well, the Super Nintendo had something that we were promised in Batman many months ago that we didn't have: jumping on enemies.
This
Even
is
though
true.
somebody on the podcast
God.
could jump on enemies in Batman, but I don't remember that. You know.
Aladdin is known for jumping on enemies, like camels. He must have a big hatred of camels because that's also a thing that happens in the movie once, I think, and is all over the game.
Oh,
All over one level of the game, at least. You jump on a camel and it does like a Yoshi spit.
Oh yeah.
to shoot the apples at the guards. What did you guys think of the Sultan's dungeon? That's the level where I was being yelled at to count, but I didn't want to count.
I told me to count. My bad.
But
That was
1, 2, 3, jump. 1, 2, 3, jump.
yeah. I had a little bit of trouble with that level, but once I got like the rhythm of it, I really enjoyed it. Because that level also had something I thought was really cool with the like swinging traps on the walls. I thought those were animated in a really cool way.
Yeah, those are actually fun
It's like a
fact.
wrecking ball that comes out towards the screen and then goes back into the screen, and it just looks really nice. Like you could tell animators spent their time on this.
It also looks good on the Game Boy Color version too, somehow. If you can believe that, it actually looks cool.
I saw the Game Boy Color version that had some of the worst reviews like imaginable. I was reading some awful reviews of it, and all I could think was, this was a Game Boy Color game that was over like an adaptation of a Genesis licensed game. The people should not have been expecting that much.
And it came out, since we're on the topic now, I want to say it came out in 2000. Like it did not come out at the same time when all the other ones came out.
And it reviewed about the same as like Fallout 76. I was like, what the hell?
Pretty sure the Game Boy Color one was developed by Crawfish Interactive and published by Ubisoft in 2000. I mean, that's what's also so strange to me is that they took a port of the Sega Genesis game 7 years later and went, people still like Aladdin. Let's put it on Game Boy Color.
I'm mad that it didn't do well.
I don't know.
Avi Fryman of GameSpy called the port of Disney's Aladdin the most monumentally disappointing of all the ports from the SNES to the Game.
Oh, I couldn't believe how much they ported the Genesis version. Like I played 2 different ports of this game, so I don't know what I can say about that.
This game also had original music, which I was surprised by. Yeah.
I didn't. For those that know me well at this point, I had headphones. I was listening to another podcast during this game while I was playing it to keep me entertained.
Well, you should have, because this game had like a lot of music taken from the movie. Like the Prince Ali song is like the first song in the game, which is really a fun way to get you in there. But then later on, I want to say it's in the dungeon and I think in the Genie's Lantern. I think those are both original pieces.
Oh, that's
really fit too. And I was like, I haven't heard this song before. Interesting.
That Genie lamp was hell. I was getting so angry at that level. And it's really short, but it's just terrible.
I had a hard time with the balloons that kept popping.
You had to jump just right. And I hated that platform part so much. I was very angry.
I would say that was the toughest level in the game. Maybe that one in the prison, the King Solomon's. What is it?
Sultan's Dungeon. That was kind of hard.
Sultan's Dungeon. Yeah.
I didn't really.
Original music, by the way, done by Tommy Tallarico. Some people might know.
And I thought it was funny though, like with the like the desert level. I mean, the desert level reminded me of playing Super Star Wars on Super Nintendo for some reason.
It's very reminiscent.
I didn't like the desert. It was it was a simple level. You just ran over.
Who wore the Mickey ears?
Mickey, obviously.
There's a level where the Mickey ears are hanging in the desert.
Oh yeah.
If you
Nice
If you
little
get
Easter
it
egg.
just right, you can wear them and you get an extra life.
Really?
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. Mike did it though.
I didn't know it was cool. I didn't screw around with them.
Yeah, you have to stand like a little bit to the left of it, and then when he leans forward, he'll lean with him underneath, and and then it makes a sound, and an extra light pops up above it. You can jump and grab it.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, I just saw it in the background. And I was like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing, Disney.
I didn't. What did you guys think of escaping from the cave and the freaking magic carpet speed? And I felt like I was playing Battletoads.
I really liked it because it felt very like Indiana Jones, and then it felt like Battletoads, and I was like, yeah, I'm on board with this. It was Battletoads, but it didn't take me 30,000 tries. It took me 5.
I use save states, but like I was wondering what the hell were those points? They looked like half melon. At least in the Game Boy Color version, which I had played first, they looked like freaking half of a melon. You could pick them up in the Game Boy Color version. But in the Genesis, they're just there. They don't do anything.
They went by so fast that I could not tell you what they were. I can tell you that you did pick them up because you picked them up too quickly for the game to register and make noise for each one. So it's like every 5th one you pick up, it makes like the item catch sounds. But, yeah, they give you like extra score, which I guess this game technically has a high score feature.
Oh, what happened?
Nothing.
Oh,
Nothing. Yeah, you just have a score.
well, that's lame.
It's not like you can put your name in or anything. It doesn't save your progress. So I guess like the only way to do it is right before you beat Jafar. Hope that somebody is there paying attention and writing a number down on like a little legal pad.
Gotta take a picture for Nintendo Power.
Oh, that's right. I mean, this game didn't have passwords, if I remember correctly, right? Like there was no passwords in this version of the game.
Oh God, no.
There's a cheat code to level select, though. I found out.
There is. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't use any cheats because I had save states. I didn't need to cheat like I do in some games.
Like I guess like cheating in Aladdin. There's like 7 levels, maybe 6.
They were not fun levels, though. Painful. They hurt me.
I thought they were very colorful and fun and flowy.
The only one I really enjoyed was
a
Sultan's
cunt, but everything
Palace.
else was okay.
Sultan's Palace was a lot of fun. You were jumping the flamingos, and it was just I really enjoyed that level a lot.
That was dare I say, cute level.
That works. It was a cute level. It was fun. It wasn't that challenging. And I want to say that's the level that has the fat guys that sometimes would jump on you. Or not jump on you. A cat jumped on me. That's what.
The fat guys that weren't the knife throwers, but the other dudes.
There were fat ones that instead of throwing knives, they would be eating donuts right in front of you. They wouldn't do anything.
Oh yeah, which you could, because they'd be in front of the fish, and if you knocked the fish spit because the fish would jump up in the air and spit at you.
Yep.
You know that casual Aladdin thing. The fish would jump up and spit at you, and you could knock it back with your sword. And I think if it hit them, their pants would fall down. Like, okay.
I thought it was funny when their pants fall down. That's why I shared that screenshot of it in the Facebook group. It cracked me up. But
if I was 12, I would have thought that was hilarious. And as of right now, I'm 25, and I still thought it was pretty damn funny.
I thought it was funny still, too. And that's like, I'm not 25. I'm 30. 31.
They got the Hearts boxers in the game.
And then it took me a little bit. Then you had to rescue Abu. Yeah, Abu. Whatever. What the hell? Abu. The little monkey in the cage. And it took me a second. I went to the end, and I'm like, what? And I couldn't go forward. And I realized I had to go back and hit the cage of my sword to free him.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to free him, I guess.
Oh, you could just jump underneath the cage as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I did then.
I was like, I don't recall doing that.
Yeah. You just jump from the bottom of the cage, and then the bottom of the cage magically disappears.
Screw this game.
I guess you do have a genie, so I guess magically anything happening would make sense in this universe. But
I didn't like this game. Did
not
not like
everybody play their Abu bonus rounds.
I'm not very good at those.
It was really fun, I thought.
Did you keep
Abu
track of your
bonus rounds
score?
are you play as Abu, and you have you got it like it's Abu from the movie when he's got the sword and he's like going after the guards, and for whatever reason barrels are just falling out of the sky, barrels and jars. You gotta dodge them and pick up apples and gems.
I never lasted very long.
It'd be like the perfect mobile game. It was a very like Mario Party mini game. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah, it would have worked for that, definitely.
I only complicated.
You only get it once though, too. It's only early in the game, then you never get it again.
Yeah,
but
you get the genie bonus round, which is like a slot machine where you can get apples and gems and extra lives.
Yeah, which was fun when you just save state right before it. I never had any problems then.
It's a nice little thing to throw in between levels. I wish more games would do stuff like that. Like even really intense games. Like I wish Last of Us at the in between levels of Last of Us. Like you do a slot machine and it's like you've got 5 apples.
Oh, that's a good game.
Congratulations. Go save Ellie. More games need to be like Lost Planet and just be wacky and like super Japanese with stuff like that.
Yeah, I did enjoy Lost Planet, and I do enjoy when they have things that are very odd. And then in the last level of this game,
with like some giant letter popping up on screen, like A+, good job.
What did you guys? And then Jafar's Palace was the last level where it wasn't much of anything. It didn't bother me. It didn't bother me. Like the more challenge of this game is in the first half of this game than it is in the end of the game.
Yeah, like the flute level was very complicated because it's a lot of back and forth and a lot of like you're going back and forth and you're climbing the city, which I thought was really cool. That was a really cool level design. Sultan's Palace was more like it looked really complicated, but it was more straightforward, really, where you were being led in a very specific pattern.
The flute one, I think you can also miss some of the flutes too, if I'm realizing it correctly.
I believe you can, because I started to notice that like every now and then, if you walked away from an area and then walked back to it, an extra life or something would be there. And I want to say one of the flutes is like that.
Oh, okay.
Although I don't know if you need all the flutes.
I didn't. I hate that level. I hated most of this game.
That was cool. I would like to see that level drawn out like in its entirety, because it felt like a really cool map. Like it felt like a really tall, like not really complicated, but just back and forth map where you kept going like above where you were, which I thought was really cool because you could see where you just were below you at any point. It felt like a nice little like climb.
It's like I played so many of these, so it's hard to remember which one is which in my head before I start talking. This one did have a scene from the I Can Show You the World where you're on the carpet, right? Or the flying rug? Flying, whatever the hell. Okay.
Flying carpet, yeah.
Flying rug? Flying carpet? I don't know.
It's a flying carpet.
Magic carpet ride. How about that? We'll go with that.
Flying Shag.
Finish my childhood memories.
Flying Shag sounds like a weird like 80s British superhero. He just sleeps with people. Yeah, ladies,
where we
Flying
went.
Shag.
You lost. Maybe not Stefan. I'm confused though.
Shag means
yeah.
English term.
Okay, because I couldn't remember.
Watch Austin Powers, for Christ's sake. Jesus.
I've never seen those movies.
Have you really never seen those movies?
No.
Oh my God.
I've only seen Goldmember. That's it.
Oh, that's like the worst one.
Yeah,
It
it
really
wasn't.
is.
I think they're on Netflix though.
Watch International Man of Mystery. This podcast is over until you watch it.
Oh, hey, there is an Austin Powers game for Game Boy Color.
Oh God, is there?
Pretty sure there is.
I cannot imagine that's good, but I'll play it.
I don't think it is.
Oh.
I did like one thing we hadn't mentioned yet. The Genesis does have like the graphics are nice. Like I thought they were very good graphics for the time.
Well, it's the traditional animation, so it like everything felt really fluid. Like I said, it all looked really good.
Yeah, the music. I mean, what I did hear in the sound effects were good.
From what you did here, you mean when I played?
Yeah, because otherwise I have headphones in podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Before we move on to the Super Nintendo version, you guys have any last things you want to say about the Genesis version?
Pretty fun. Like just in terms of theme, it was pretty fun. Like just when you're in the genie's lamp and it's got the genie's face plastered everywhere, and he flicks you to go up. Oh, it was all really.
I hated that. All that. Hated it.
From a design standpoint, it looked really cool.
It did look cool, but I freaking hated the design, the whole level. But I did because I did play the Game Boy Color version after before I beat the Genesis version, which I didn't realize is a port. I actually really like the Game Boy Color version. I mean, if you get the chance, it's different enough. It doesn't have the genie level, which was nice. It looks very much the same, like on a Game Boy, but like the ropes are in the same place, enemies are in the same place. But I feel like it was maybe shorter. I don't know. I didn't hate it. I actually kind of enjoyed myself, and I was playing it on a touchscreen, which was not the correct way to play it.
I say my favorite part about the genie level is that the genie inside of his lamp where he lives, he just has his face plastered everywhere. You're like walking into like your friend's house, and he has 37 busts of him in his foyer before you even like walk into the kitchen or anything.
Is that even part of the movie? I don't remember that part.
So
kind of.
I didn't watch. I wanted to watch this ahead of time before this episode, But all I have is a VHS of the movie, and I don't have a VHS player.
I think we do.
Yeah.
You
I
just
think
didn't
you-
want to find it.
I didn't want to. No.
Yeah, I know.
I think you see Inside the Lamp in Return of Jafar or King of Thieves. One of the other
Never-
sequels. I don't know if you see it in the
Yeah,
original.
sequel.
I've never seen the second one. I've
No,
seen the third one, but
Return
never.
of Jafar is so good. Like,
I didn't.
not even kidding. It might be better than Aladdin.
I remember the animation sucking on it, but the story was awesome.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
got like the it's all like Iago is a big character in it. It's like his kind of redemption arc. Iago pulls a Vegeta.
Why are there always Dragon Ball Z references on this show?
Because everyone knows Dragon Ball Z. It's the easiest thing for me to reference.
Not wrong.
All right, and before we do dig into, okay, good. I got scared there for a second. Before we dig into the Super Nintendo version, I did want to say before the show, I also played the Game Gear version, which I thought, oh, it's just going to be a port in the Genesis. It's a completely different game, and it is amazing. I really, really liked it. I don't know why it got bad reviews. I enjoyed it. Like, okay, the first two levels are running. You're just running and jumping over barrels, and then later on it gets into feels like the original Prince of Persia games where you're kind of walking through these levels. You do a little bit of platforming. You got to throw rocks at guards and stuff, but it's really cool. I don't know. I was impressed.
I'm surprised to hear that.
I was surprised to feel it when I was playing this game. I'm like, what? This is fun. And it also it follows the movie really well with like little like cutscenes where they're talking and because I don't remember the movie at all. it was actually really good. If you guys get the chance, play the Game Gear version. I mean, I'm not going to say play it on a regular Game Gear, but there's many ways to play it, but it's definitely worth trying it.
Go find a Game Gear and get it working. You have to do some solder.
All right, we should jump into the Super Nintendo version, which, as Stefan had said earlier, was the one made by Capcom and Shinji Mikami.
Capcom.
I think it's just funny that I didn't realize it until we were getting close to the show that they were two completely different games made by two completely different companies.
You didn't tell
Well-
me I had to play this game.
You played some of it.
It very distinctly has like that same mold of what they were using then. Like you can tell that it looks almost exactly like what is it, Mega Man X or the other game he was working on. I think it was Goof Troop. They kind of use like that same art sprite aesthetic, I want to say, for the Super Nintendo Aladdin.
It was weird, like playing both because it was like playing a game and then playing the TV version of that game that's in the background of like a I was about to say Call of Duty, a background of like a Law and Order episode.
It was just, I mean, it's so different. Like, I didn't know, like, one, as we said earlier, you can jump on enemies, which was very, very nice, by the way. There's no sword, but I'm 100% okay with that because I can jump on enemies. You still throw apples, you still collect jewels that do whatever, and this time your health actually makes sense. It's little hearts, not a stupid genie smoke
I like
wrapped
the
in
Genie
circles.
Lamp. It was really hard to see, so it was a terrible visual choice, but I thought it was a cool idea.
I never knew how much health I had. It would irritate me.
Been better.
You knew when it started flashing that you were in trouble. That's all you needed to know.
Yeah.
It wasn't the
Yeah.
very basic Zelda.
It flashed a lot for Mike.
Yeah, it did. I also got to say I do like the Genesis cover art for the box better than the Super Nintendo version. But Super Nintendo version, I enjoyed the gameplay more. I enjoyed the levels more. I really enjoyed the genie level in the Super Nintendo version. I thought that was a ton of fun. That was
It was weird because it looked brighter to me,
Mhm.
but something about that animation style was just so good on the Genesis, and I felt like this was like a slog comparatively.
See, I also had beat the Super Nintendo version first. I beat this about earlier this week when I had time. I sat down and beat it in like an hour with save states, of course. And so I mean, that could have been a little bit that kind of altered my opinion because I played the Genesis version today, so a week later or so, and I wasn't feeling it. Plus, I was running out of time.
I will give the Super Nintendo credit for having a better Jafar ending boss with the
Yeah.
snake. That
snake,
looks badass.
and it's a fun fight. The Super Nintendo version is so much fun to jump over him and jump on his head. I mean, I really enjoyed that fight. And I also enjoyed when you jump on things, he does like a little flip and then jumps on the enemy or whatever. It's cool.
I still have to give
Yeah.
the props for including Jasmine in the game. Not much more, but at least more.
Oh,
Couple cuts.
if you want to see more Jasmine, play the Game Gear game. She's actually involved a lot in that game. And you actually have a whole level with the magic carpet ride where you actually have to dodge freaking birds. And there's a horse that jumps off the ground and hits you. For some reason, there's a white unicorn horse running around. I don't know why. But If you want more jazz, play
A
that game.
whole new world.
It's like she's arguably more important than Aladdin in Aladdin. And then you play the games and she's like a cutscene at the end, like, you got the princess.
Congratulations.
In the movie, it's like political debate and how will I run this kingdom? The people need me.
I would have sang more with you, Stefan, but that's the song I don't know as well.
That's super sad.
I unfortunately don't know A Whole New World. I only listened to it once today, unlike some of the other ones. But
A dazzling place I never knew. Because when it's way up here, it's crystal clear.
All right, I'm trying to think anything else I wanted to mention about the Super Nintendo.
Might be my new favorite person.
Super Nintendo version was... I can't remember as much about it because I beat it a week ago now. I just remember I really liked it. Like I just had much more fun with the platforming, the levels, the boss fights. You had less boss fights too, which was nice. I freaking did not enjoy the boss fights in the Genesis version at all.
I know those genie levels were a lot more. They took a lot more leeway with those, whereas like the second one kind of sticks to exactly what happens in the movie, and the Super Nintendo one just has like these wacky colored levels, like they almost look like they're out of Rayman or something.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like
that's a good example. I didn't really think about that, but that's a very good example. I don't know. I just didn't really have anything else about the Super Nintendo version. Like I can't even remember the Cave of Wonders. I know it had the Cave of Wonders. It didn't have the desert, if I'm remembering correctly, which I'm okay with.
Yeah, I don't think it did.
No, I was okay without the Mickey ears. I can't even think much about the Super Nintendo version now. Like I don't remember any of it.
I didn't finish it because he told me I didn't have to.
You didn't have to. You played some of it. I
played halfway through, maybe.
Yeah, you got the genie levels. You're almost done.
Yeah.
I did want to say the Magic Carpet Ride in the SNES version I thought was harder because you had to go up and down and dodge the rocks, and I didn't like that part.
Yeah, it wasn't as fast, but for some reason it just felt more like you could get hit a lot easier because what you're doing is basically you have to stay to the front of the screen or else you're going to get hit by this wave of lava that's following behind you, and you just have no idea where it's going to go. It's like a path.
You didn't have the hands, the thumbs, like
in the Genesis. Yeah.
Oh, I was looking at her like she was crazy.
They know what I was talking about.
I didn't.
Thanks.
They even play a trick on you in the Genesis one. It is kind of like Turbo Tunnel from Battletoads, because there's one point where they don't tell you to go up or down. They just say question mark.
Question mark.
You want to die right now?
I saved it and that was okay, but I'm trying to think of anything else about the Super Nintendo version other than I just enjoyed it. I don't remember much of it, unfortunately. It did get ported to Game Boy Advance, though, years later.
Yeah. It had the, I don't even know what to call it, like that part where he steals the loaf of bread in the movie and he, like, takes the, like, blanket. Like, in the NES version, you can use a blanket to, like, kind of glide.
Oh, yeah, I never used... Isn't the gliding in both of them or only the Super Nintendo version?
I think it is. I think it's just Super Nintendo.
Okay.
I never glided.
Yeah, it's just Super Nintendo version. I didn't use it either. You have to hit one of the buttons when you're jumping. You can kind of glide. I forgot about that.
He didn't tell me this stuff. That's rude.
Don't you also use it to go down the ropes?
Yeah, I think that's kind of automatically. You just jump, which is cool. That was a cool part. Like, it felt good.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the idea that they took away Aladdin's sword and gave him a blanket.
You know what? I'm 100% okay. They took away that stupid sword that was useless in the Genesis because you usually just use apples anyway.
The sword also blocked all attacks.
Yeah, but
any thrown attack, it would knock it back at the enemy.
Yeah, that was nice, but Super Nintendo you could jump on people like Batman, so it was more fun.
What is with you and jumping on people?
I don't know. I enjoy it.
You have a problem.
I have many problems.
Riff raff, street rat, scoundrel, take that.
I only steal what I can't afford. That's everything.
We find out the only reason Mike started this podcast is because he really, really wanted to play Mario.
You know what's funny is even though we're already 20 episodes in, we haven't done a Mario game yet, and there's a Mario game up on the schedule coming up. Not for a while, but there is one.
Like several months away.
Oh God, I wish I could remember anything else about the damn Super Nintendo version. I got nothing.
You watched me play it just recently.
I know, but it's like completely out of my memory, and I can't believe it. Like I don't remember. I just remember I liked it.
Yeah, you're lately.
Yeah, I have been.
It's so forgettable.
That's the sad thing is I feel like that's part of it. The Genesis version, I mean, is the one that's much more memorable, and the Game Gear one that no one even knew existed is the one everyone should be playing.
Why did
I should have tried that.
It's just it's such a strange game. It also came out in '95, which is a big part of that. But it's just I think it's '95. It is such a different game. June '94. But it's just such a different game than the other ones, which I thought was so interesting about the Game Gear one.
Why does Aladdin look so weird?
I don't know why. For those that can't see, like everyone else listening,
Sorry.
the Game Gear cover of the Aladdin looks. You look at it up when you get a chance. He just looks strange.
Even Genie looks wrong. Like they just screwed up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole game is just strange.
Did they not get the licensing for the artwork?
Oh, like the fight. So we're going back to Game Gear. The final fight with the snake was also more fun than the Genesis version. You would hit him with your sword and knock him off the screen, and then as soon as he goes all the way off the screen, you win. And I just stood there and kept hitting him. He knocked you back with his tail, but it doesn't actually hurt you. I just kept hitting him with the sword until he went away, and I just ran, and I had enough health to do it. And I didn't have any extra health, just whatever that game gives you. It's a strange game, but I really liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was a little too like basic
It's
compared to like the.
I don't think it's as hard as.
No, nothing's hard as the Genesis one. Nothing. Oh man, that Genesis one. God, I know. And then one thing we hadn't mentioned yet, Super Nintendo one, it did have a nice bonus world or bonus stage with a whole new world plane where you're flying through the sky and collecting jewels.
Oh yeah,
that was fun. It wasn't challenging. It was just a nice, easy bonus. And the Super Nintendo version also had passwords, which was also nice.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go back and play it now, but because I don't remember any of it, it's bugging me.
You can watch me play it and say you're doing it wrong.
I won't
say
say
it
anything
on the show again. We'll just do a repeat episode.
I'm sure that would do great on the
We
here.
won't explain it. We'll cut this part out. We won't explain it for no reason. We'll just do it again.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to say about the Super Nintendo game? If we remember anything.
I was pretty disappointed after I found out that it was made by Mikami that it didn't open with the Resident Evil voice going, Disney's Aladdin. But that's
That's the other thing I wanted to point out. The Super Nintendo version is called Disney's Aladdin, where the Genesis version is just called Aladdin.
Yeah.
No, it's the other way around.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah. Genesis version is Disney's
Aladdin.
Disney's Aladdin.
Yeah. What?
Trust me, I've played it on the Pi enough.
And the Game Gear one is also Disney's Aladdin.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Let's see how educated I am for this podcast.
Wow.
I think the Capcom one is also Disney's Aladdin, but it just says Aladdin on the box or something.
Yeah, I mean, and on the Wikipedia article it said Disney's Aladdin, but on that is her cell phone text alert if anyone's curious.
My bad.
Just not
that was a close one. You could have been a carpet sandwich.
You just had to bring in
I'll give this
Thanks,
to you,
Barry.
Master of apple throwing.
Master of apple throwing.
This is an apple.
See, that's how Ari should be, just running around throwing apples at the zombies. I'm sure that would work out great. She was down and ready to go for a picnic, so she had a picnic basket with her full of apples and her Jill sandwich.
Hey, you can throw eggs. That's pretty close. Just replace the model with an apple.
Eggs don't do anything. All right.
I'm making it now.
With eggs.
Okay, I think we should. Anything you guys want to say about? Did anyone get a chance to watch the movie before we did this episode?
Not right before, but I saw it. I've seen it several times.
I watched behind the scenes YouTube videos. Does that count?
That counts more than what I did. I haven't seen any. I just watched the music videos of the cuts of the parts of the movie with the songs today. It's not anything streamable right now, unfortunately. It will be.
Nothing Disney is.
Not till December.
Yeah, like Disney. God, like.
Isn't some of the Marvel movies on Netflix?
A couple.
Yeah, because I think they still have a contract with Marvel.
Oh.
I don't think that. I think that's like they had that contract pre the Disney thing.
Mm-hmm.
Disney's like slowly taking everything down. I told everyone I'm gonna turn into like one of those paranoid people on the side of the street. Like the end is nigh written on this big board. I was like, Disney's gonna start taking everything off of Netflix. They're gonna start getting rid of everything.
Oh,
Build that fake demand. And now you can't find Disney shit anywhere.
Into the Spider-Verse is going on there in June, I think.
Yep.
Ooh, I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
He wouldn't take me to see it.
No, I didn't. For the Aladdin movie, I haven't seen it in years, but I do remember enjoying it a lot as a kid. And as an adult, when I rewatched it, it's probably one of my more favorite Disney movies.
Mm-hmm.
The movie was like written around Robin Williams before they even asked him to play the genie, they had written it around Robin Williams.
I didn't realize that genie and Jin were the same word.
Yep.
Also, I'm surprised that didn't come up when we played Golden Sun.
I was thinking the same thing. That should have came up back then. Oh, should we go to listener questions?
Sure.
Yes.
Unless you want to say anything else about the movie.
Oh, yeah, I don't think I got much. None of us watched it
Gilbert
recently.
Gottfried are both in it. It's
What do you
worthwhile.
thought on the new movie?
And
Blah.
the guy who plays the captain of the guard might be a sex predator now, but
Oh, what? Wait, what?
the captain of the guard was played by Jim Cummings. Had some news come out about him recently.
Oh,
Well, so maybe him playing in the movie chasing after a boy wasn't that far off, huh?
Yeah.
dear.
Oh, Aladdin predicted the future.
Oh my God! Here we go.
Hey, every episode we end up in random dark places. Every episode, so we didn't want to change that turn of events. I should ask anything else about the movie you guys want to say?
No. Are we gonna talk about the 2019 remake at all?
Anyone? I mean, you can talk about the trailer. Because I didn't see the movie, and I do want to talk about the trailer though. We talk about that before we go to
It's been getting
listener.
really bad reviews.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the trailer.
Yeah.
I don't
Let's
know.
not talk about Will Smith's song for it. Let's just not go there
Terrible.
now.
Well, I read one of the reviews and it said that like it kind of skips over like the first third of the animated movie. So like Jasmine's already like in the square, like wandering around and stuff. It doesn't explain any of it because it just assumes you know what happened and
Oh,
what's
It's
going
like
yeah.
on.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and it's like you don't need the beginning of this. You've already watched it. We're going straight
Exactly.
past.
I mean,
Going
who
straight
hasn't
into
seen
this.
Aladdin though?
People
People.
that are young, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like
Millennials
Aladdin's
only
really
have.
good.
And,
Well, like the Aladdin movie, it felt like they were trying to market it mainly to like older people who enjoyed the animated movie, and all I could think was like anyone who enjoyed the animated movie is just going to be annoyed that this is an exact remake.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Exactly.
annoyed, but I will go see it in theaters. They're going to get my money. I just haven't had time yet this
I
weekend.
heard that Iago does not talk.
What?
What? Really?
Yeah, read that in an article somewhere.
Gilbert
Yeah.
Gottfried? Is he?
He's also supposed to be a clone. Like there's supposed to be a ton of Iago clones in the movie.
Ugh.
Oh, what? Wait,
What?
what?
I'm just kidding. I made that up.
Oh,
I can
was
see
like,
that.
what?
Alan, I know Alan Tudyk plays Iago in the new one, which is like notable because Gilbert Gottfried has played Iago in every single Aladdin IP. Like
Didn't
any
they
in the
do, like,
Aladdin
a
work, he's
series?
played it. What?
Didn't he do the series too?
Yeah, he did all of them. That's what I was saying. Like that's why it's impressive to me because he worked on every single Aladdin. Anything with Iago appearing in it, Gilbert Gottfried has played him, which is really impressive considering there were like 5 movies, a couple of TV shows, and he's appeared in multiple games, including I think Kingdom Hearts.
I think
They
I think
even
if
asked
somebody
him.
I
There's
think if
3
somebody
movies.
paid Gilbert Godfrey to do Iago in a trash can, he'd do it.
Yeah,
Probably.
he doesn't do much nowadays. He just shows up on Last Week Tonight occasionally.
You
He's
know,
got
there's,
time.
there's 3 movies, and the 4th movie got canceled, apparently, for the
Okay.
Aladdin.
Until now.
Good. Everyone should watch Return of Jafar. It's actually pretty good.
I've never seen it, but now I kind
Also,
of
they
want to
changed
watch
what kind
it.
of monkey Apu is, right? Apu.
Abu.
Abu.
It's Abu.
Isn't it
Abu
Abu?
wasn't always a capuchin, right?
I don't know.
I think they changed the kind of monkey that Abu was. They
Oh.
changed up stuff.
Is he still a kleptomaniac in like the sequels?
I hope so. But he also
I
he's
have no recollection of the sequel, so
Yeah.
like that Abu. I don't know if he speaks, but I've heard that. He has a voice actor.
he does have a voice actor.
I do want to see it. I am gonna go see it soon. I'm not excited for it.
I am not gonna go see it because it just looked real dumb.
Well, the
And,
Lion King one.
Everything that's come out about it, I'm like, that's disappointing. Like the whole they filmed it in London and basically put all the extras in brown face.
See, I told you.
So that was real?
Yeah, that's real. That's 100%
You
Oh,
real.
God.
thought I was lying?
No, I just thought the article that you read might have been wrong.
Yeah, I guess they figured that brown face was okay as long as it was only in the background.
And digital?
Everyone was like, "Why didn't you just film in some Middle Eastern area. Like you didn't have to film in
Weren't
like
they,
fucking
like,
Aleppo,
close
but
to
go to
it?
anywhere.
Where did they film it? I can't remember.
They filmed it in London or
So
Surrey, not London, Surrey. They filmed it in Surrey, England. Part of the film was filmed in Jordan, which you could probably find some extras in Jordan and just
Yeah,
film the
yes, you
entire
could.
movie there.
Oh, no, I think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna do good. I think it's gonna be a train wreck. But-
Yeah,
think it'll
it kind
be-
of just reminds me of like how Disney screwed over Robin Williams, and like this is just kind of like their karma for like doing that.
Years of
Poor Robin Williams.
Yeah,
mediocre. Mediocre movies. Yeah, it's just oh god, it just looked so. It didn't. I don't think it looked like a bad movie. It just looks like an incredibly forgivable movie that like Disney should not have made. Like if anybody else made it, I would have been like, okay. But the fact that Disney's making it, like you guys know how to make new movies. Like, for
So
years,
is
you've been making movies.
Is this the thing now? They're gonna remake all their animated in the live?
Yep.
yeah.
Ooh.
I get they're trying to like say, hey, we got all these movies, we want to bring them to like a new audience. But
That's
you don't
not the
have to
way,
do it that
though.
way.
No, that's not the way though.
You just re-release them or do like another remaster. Don't spend
Yeah.
billions of dollars on CGI because people clearly don't like the CGI.
I enjoyed Beauty and the Beast, so
That was a good movie.
I had high hopes for Aladdin, but I don't have high hopes anymore.
Jungle Book was okay too.
I didn't.
I like Christopher Walken in Jungle Book.
I forgot he's even.
He was fun.
I don't remember anything about the movie. I just remember I liked it. That's all I
The only
got.
thing I remember about Jungle Book was that it had a really cool Facebook ad because it had one of those. It was one of the like the first big 3D or like VR type ads on Facebook where if you like you could turn around and see around you in a circle. It was only on those, obviously, but yeah, it was like a tree, and,
And that's
you were
all.
you were like in a tree branch, and you like were looking out, like you could look around. At some point, you just heard who played Naga?
Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson. You just heard her talking, and like you turn around, and suddenly like Naga was right behind you in your face. It was a really
Wow.
good ad. It was very creepy.
All right. I do got some. I think this is about anything else. Yes. I know.
Disney creeping out children since 2016.
That's true. That's true. Not longer. Look at some of those movies.
I like the idea of them being like, how can we bring in our movies to a new audience? I know, let's make them fucking terrifying. Kids love
Okay.
pissing their pants.
I think we should do some listener questions. We got a bunch from the Overblood Facebook group. Thank you. First one from Emmanuel. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. Which of the versions of this game do you personally consider the best or favorite? I'll go first. Game Gear. That's my favorite. I don't know why. Hey, I know.
I'm really
Silence.
surprised by that answer.
Silent disappointment from everybody.
Silent.
Don't worry, that silence won't be in the unedited version, the edited version of
No,
this show.
I think
No,
you
leave
should
it
leave it in.
Yeah, leave it in. Leave it in the quiet.
See how awkward we all feel right now.
How about you, Tiff? What was your favorite?
Of course, I like the Genesis version. I've only been like exposed to that one my entire life.
Okay. How about you, Stefan?
Probably Genesis, just by a hair, just because of that fluid animation that they worked with Disney with in the art department. Just by a hair. But the Super Nintendo one's good too.
And you, Mr. Hughes?
Definitely the Genesis version.
All right.
Animation was real good.
You are outvoted, sir.
Oh, I knew I would be. And then I got two more things from Manuel. One, as someone who has no nostalgic for these games and played them recently for the first time, I much prefer the platforming of the SNES version, even though the music of the Genesis was so much better. That was not a question, Manuel. And you should keep up the good work, everyone.
But the music
I
was,
thought it was a
in
question.
all three games, the music was pretty good.
This means he did not read the questions before.
I did not. This is a question from Jerry Klein, another of the listeners. Not game related, but I'd like to know what your thoughts are on the original Disney movie as well as what we've seen in the upcoming live action remake. Well, you already got that, sir.
It's the old movie good, the new remake.
Yeah.
I will see it, but that doesn't.
You know it's still gonna make money because people are gonna be curious about it and they're still gonna see it.
It's worth mentioning. This is a fun little tidbit. Is the 1992 version of the movie. Its budget was $28 million.
Wow.
The budget of the 2019 like CGI fancy version is $183 million.
Oh my god.
There's no way it might break that, but there's no way it profits.
No, I don't think it's already sounded like it's not getting a good rap, and it just started.
I blame Will Smith.
They'll get that. They'll recoup that extra money off Will Smith's Genie rap album.
I'm sure they will.
It made me cry.
Make a lot of people cry. Another question from Dakota Elfring. Which levels do you think are the most difficult and why? And for the Genesis, that fucking Genie level is just awful.
The carpet level.
How about you guys? Do you have anything you hated?
I really liked how weird the Genie level was. It was hard, but I really enjoyed how like
random.
Yeah, random and different visually it was. It was like really fun. But oh god, I have the hiccups now. Jesus, this is the worst. Can't podcast with the hiccups. Give me a second. Okay. Back to what I was saying.
I need to scare you.
Yeah, I'll just go watch the Facebook ad for Aladdin. Aladdin Jungle Book shit.
Aladdin's pretty scary too. Seeing a blue Will Smith is not exactly something that we all want to see.
I think the Genie level was hard but fun, but then like Jafar fight was just so ridiculously difficult compared to the rest of the game.
Yeah, I'll 100% agree with that. Anything for you, Stefan?
I mean, I thought they were all pretty easy, to be honest.
You suck.
Fuck
sir.
you. You didn't have any problems with Jafar at the end of the Genesis one?
I got him on the, I want to say, third try.
Okay, so I got him on the fifth.
Yeah, so he wasn't too bad.
I save stated, so I got him on the first, but you know, it doesn't count.
Cheater.
You guys are the ones that took one for the team and played it more legitly.
I mean, they had pretty good checkpoints.
Yeah,
lives were
the
hard to get.
Nintendo version did not have checkpoints.
It didn't?
I don't think so. Did it?
I don't know.
The Genesis
I think it did. I think the Super Nintendo did.
I just remember the Genesis one because it was like the Genie face turned around.
I don't remember what the Nintendo one was then.
And I mean, in the Genesis one, like the lives were sparing enough that at several points in the game, I couldn't pick up anymore because the max you can hold is 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. I was max out life, but that's because I didn't die.
So I could push the game at 9 in the corner until I started fighting Jafar. Then it started going down, and I was getting a little worried.
Because that fight was just stupid hard. Like it wasn't even like it's just dumb fight. I don't think, and like one thing that I don't know if we mentioned, like in the Genesis version, you can't really hit the bosses with a sword. You have to have apples, which I didn't like. Oh, and another question we got, previous guest from the show, and eventually going to be on the show again, actually here in a couple of weeks, from Jesse Chavez. What are your favorite parts of each port? Well, sir, in the Game Gear port, I actually really like the entire game.
We should skip that question.
Well, I'm the one in charge of the question, so.
Oh, really? I got your phone now. Aha!
Did you have a favorite part of any of the Genesis port, Tiffany?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
How about you, Stefan?
I want to say the Genie level, and then the escape on the carpet, with the Genie hands telling you which way to go. That was fun.
They were the hardest levels.
Yeah.
Those were my favorite.
Yeah, it really reminded me of Turbo Tunnel, but like not as hard.
Yeah,
it was very different compared to the rest of the game, so it really stood out.
Yeah, and it was nice that they kind of threw that in there to stick with the movie. I actually prefer the Genesis red carpet ride level over the Super Nintendo's.
It's worth pointing out too, the Genesis version, it really is. The game is like 7 levels. The first 6 are the first 10 to 15 minutes of the movie, and then you fight Jafar and it's over. Like that is how the game is set up. I don't know if that's been communicated effectively enough, but it's really weird. It's a really weird basic.
Sultan's Dungeon. I mean, those are none of those are like the desert. None of those are really long scenes from the movie. I mean, it skips all Prince Ali, unfortunately, that's all I know. It skips all that part with him and the genie.
I think the genie is introduced to Aladdin within the first 5 minutes in the movie or something. It's very quick.
Not that short. God, I really
it's got to be within the first 10 minutes because all those old Disney movies follow the formula. And the formula for movies is you have to know everything about the movie within the first 10 minutes, or at least understand the world. I feel like it's definitely later than that in the movie, even though I haven't seen it in a while, because he doesn't, I'm pretty sure he doesn't go to Cave of Wonders that quickly, but I could see it.
In Dungeon.
Yeah, but he doesn't meet the genie until he goes to Cave of Wonders, so.
Yeah.
He does go in the dungeon.
Here's your reward.
It's pretty
Sorry.
quick because it starts with him in the market, and then he runs into the merchant pretty quickly, right? I think it's like a little scene with like him like trying to get Jasmine's attention, and she doesn't even notice him.
You can YouTube this if you
I
like.
feel like that's after you have the whole part with I only steal what I can't afford, and that's everything. I feel like it's
I'm
after
looking it up.
all that. But we do have 2 more listener questions. I think since Tiffany took my phone, she can read one of those too.
Oh no. Let's see. When do you think licensed games went from reliably good to reliably bad, and why? Your phone just shut off.
don't think they
They've
were
always been
released.
bad. I
Yeah.
would say, like, occasionally you get a good one, like Batman Genesis. You know, some people might not agree with me, but you know, occasionally you get a good one, but sometimes, actually, most of the time, they're usually crap.
Yeah, most licensed games. I mean, I can
there
think
was
of
definitely
very
a period where most of them were good. Like most of the like a lot of those early games that people really love are all licensed games.
I mean, I don't like them, but I guess the early platformers were good. And like, you know, Aladdin is considered a good game. Lion King is considered a good game, right, Stefan?
Why would
No.
you play that?
That's an evil, twisted game.
Wait. Is the full Aladdin movie on? Wait. Oh, sorry. I thought I saw a Disney Channel Aladdin movie on YouTube, like the new one, and I was like, what the fuck? It's just on YouTube free, but it's not released by Disney Channel. It's released by Disney Chanel, the knockoff.
Chanel. Is this a perfume? Wait a second.
How did the full movie already get released on YouTube? It's been out for like a day.
It's on fun random thing I saw on Facebook. One of the groups I'm part of Aladdin group, and there was someone who kept posting the link for the new 2019 movie in all the comments. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna get shut down real fast,
It's
guys.
been out for a day.
Yeah, not even.
Doesn't take long.
This is an inside leak.
All right, I do have one last listener question to read from Chris Morin. Can we talk about how good the movement in Aladdin SNES feels? Bouncing, swinging, and the gliding. Oh man, the gliding. I didn't do any gliding, but I did like all the swinging
I
and
didn't
everything.
even know there was gliding. How did I miss that part?
You gotta hit a button.
It effectively made the game way easier because you could glide. I want to say.
Now I gotta play it all over again. Thanks, guys.
You do.
I just, unfortunately, I can't remember any of it. The Super Nintendo version is a good game. Too many freaking.
We have to play it separately.
Too many Aladdin games in the last 3 days. I beat the Genesis, the Game Boy Color, and the Game Gear game. So I mean, I'm all Aladdin now.
It's like a fourth of all the Aladdin games that exist.
Oh, since you mentioned that, no, there aren't that.
No.
I haven't pulled up. There's the ones that we talked about so far, all the early ones, and you didn't have another Aladdin game until 2001 for PS1, and then the next Aladdin game is considered Kingdom Hearts.
Funny is that's when I was gonna say licensed games started to get bad. So maybe Aladdin caused it.
I mean, it could have been in the in the PlayStation era. I mean, I think licensed games are mostly bad, but it's just because
Gold 007.
it's a bad game, but it's amazing. That's all
That game is not. I mean, maybe by today's standards, yeah, it'd be bad. But when that game came out, holy shit!
I know it was the best thing we ever saw. But I also think kind of funny that games came out a year after the movie. Like now, you would never see that. And I bought many licensed games. They don't come out. They come out with the movie, not years after. Which is just
I think it was like around the 2000s was when it switched from most licensed games being good and a few being totally shit to most licensed games being totally shit and a few being really good.
Yeah, because I can only one I can think of a recent one. The X-Men Origins Wolverine game is really good for 360 PS3 era.
Saw the 007 games pretty good.
Yeah,
I want to say the Star Trek game is okay.
But none of those really based on movies. They're just based on an IP.
The Star Trek game is based on the new movie.
Oh, okay. I never played that. I know what you're talking. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. I never played
I think
it.
it follows it almost. I don't know. It's not like exact, but it follows it pretty closely. I want to say.
It's.
I think.
I want to say Quackshot was pretty good for that era. That was a good licensed game.
Yeah, I mean there were some ones, and that might be on the show eventually. By the way.
Yeah, that's a great game.
What about licensed movies? Silent Hill is pretty good.
Oh, they don't have a blue
Resident Evil. Oh,
First Resident Evil. I like me. Okay, so me and Sam, who was one of our guests earlier,
It was just Sam, though.
will die on that hill that the first Resident Evil is a really good movie.
I'll accept that. The first
is a good movie.
one, okay. The first half of the second one is even good too.
No, the whole second movie's good.
Ah,
I
no.
fell off after the third. How many are there?
There's 6.
There's
Ugh.
7.
7? Oh.
There's too many.
Okay, I'm going to say it on here. At some point, I do want to do some bonus episodes where we watch the Resident Evil movies one at a time and talk and do a whole episode about them.
I'm out.
All
Wow.
the Lord of the Rings games are fucking great too.
Yeah, a lot of
They're all
those are.
consistently good.
Yeah.
Those are hit and miss.
Mad
Some
Max
are
is
really
also
good.
really good too.
All right, I think we should. Anything else you guys want to say about Aladdin before we do shelf or box?
No, not in particular. I guess they all have like their little bits that I think make them good.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I hate the Genesis version and didn't enjoy it, it was still a good game.
I do not understand your hatred for the Genesis version because that was my favorite.
I don't know.
story.
I don't understand it either. What's wrong with you?
Well, there's a lot. All right, I think we
Are
should.
you confusing Genesis with Game Gear?
No, the Game Gear one was amazing.
Oh my
Alright, I think-
gosh.
Did you like accidentally find a way to play on the Virtual Boy or something?
I think we're gonna start with shelf or box. I'm gonna go first, I think, in this episode. And for the SNES and Genesis, they're both gonna go in the box because I honestly have no plan to ever play them either of them ever again. Now the Game Gear one, that's going on the shelf.
We
Just,
didn't ask you that though.
but I don't. I'm hosting. I get to answer. Game Gear one's going on the shelf because it was something that I was like, okay, I'll play through this quick. It's probably a port of the Genesis version. I won't care. I just want to see what it looks like. And the first level opens up. I'm running from the guard, jumping over barrels. I'm like, okay. And I started playing it. Then it had cool little cutscenes, and then it had like some exploring type levels, and I really liked it. And something that I want to introduce more and more people to, and I'm going to after this episode. Try to get people to play it,
We're in
including you.
trouble now. No,
So definitely Game Gear going on the shelf, SNES and Genesis going in the box.
All right.
Stefan, do you want to go next?
I'm gonna say for the Genesis version, that can stay on the shelf. That can stay there. But the Super Nintendo will go in the box. It's funny because when I was younger, I was actually jealous of my cousins because they had a Super Nintendo and I had a Sega, and they had Aladdin. I was like, oh, this looks so much better, but I was just stupid because it didn't. So yeah, I'm actually this helped me realize something. So I prefer the Genesis version. It's just prettier.
Okay.
So does Shinji Mikami.
Which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
How about you, Stuart?
I don't know. I think the Genesis version, I think I'm going to put that on my shelf because I did have a lot of fun playing it. It was really like, I like video game history. I actually took a video game history class one time, and so I find how old games were made really interesting. The fact that this used traditional animation was really cool. I thought that worked really well for the game. The music was really nice. I don't think I'm gonna put the SNES version on my shelf though. As much as I did enjoy it, it was like a little bit more colorful, but it was also just very standard. Like that's what I would have expected this game to be. Whereas the Genesis one was like weirdly dark and the animation was just really flowy and it was really weird. I appreciate weird. I will always appreciate weird. Weird will always be elevated above good for me.
No wonder you like Stalker.
Yeah.
Stalker's good though, but no wonder you like it. It's weird as hell.
Weird is better than good in my mind. So I'm gonna say Genesis is going on my shelf. SNES is not. Didn't play the Game Boy one, so I'm gonna assume that
That's
it's
the Game
not
Boy one
on
is
my shelf.
garbage. Game Boy Color one is all right, but yeah, you're not missing
Why do
anything.
you play all?
I don't know. I honestly have no idea what came over me. I just started playing all these different versions
he
of
played
it.
most of them before he played the Genesis version. I don't know why.
What I will say is that I'm gonna put the Genesis one on my shelf. If we ever play the original Prince of Persia, I might kick this off my shelf and replace it with Prince of Persia.
Oh,
Because
wow.
it felt very
But
Prince
is
of
there
Persia.
like space limit that you can only have so many on your shelf?
Well, it just reminded me so much of like the first Prince of Persia game,
Play Game Gear.
which used rotoscoping and like
Mhm.
animation. It used that like same style of animation, and it rotoscoped in the in the main character, and that's how they got like the effect of it. So that's why I find that game really interesting.
There's about 2 levels of the Game Gear version that feel just like Prince of Persia. You'll see what I mean if you ever play it.
So this is on my shelf as a placeholder for a game that I find really interesting.
I am a big fan of the Prince of Persia games, but not the original ones.
It's so hard. I don't know if we'd be able to even play it.
I'm up for that.
They're save states. We're okay.
We could run it. Although it is worth mentioning the original Prince of Persia, one of the developers for it for Sega CD, River Hillsoft.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Overblood.
Overblood. Yeah, also Virgin Interactive made Siberia. So another connection to Overblood.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, and
2 of the worst games of all time.
and Tiffany, what about you? Software box for the Genesis and Super Nintendo version.
Genesis definitely shelf, and the Super Nintendo. After I'm done playing it, it'll probably be the box.
All right.
Severely
I think we all
outvoted.
agree on that. Yeah.
I mean, I want to talk more about it, but then I realized I couldn't remember a single damn thing about Super Nintendo version other than I jumped on things. I'm like,
It was just
what?
okay. Like it was just like I said, it's like that's what you would have expected from a licensed game. Whereas the Genesis one was just like it was weird. It was different. It was not what I would have expected, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And Stuart, I'm going to put you on the spot. Can you want to introduce our game for next week?
Yes. Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Same here.
Not only have I been playing the game, but I've also been playing the game that it came on as a demo track. So I have been playing Republic Commando, Star Wars Republic Commando. I've been playing on the PC. I love that game so much. I'm so happy that we get to talk about it.
Dun, 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 dun.
I've been playing Republic Commando, and I started another game of Knights of the Republic 2 because,
Oh.
well, I'm sure it'll come up in the other podcast, but Republic Commando was the demo on KOTOR 2 when they still did that.
I'll definitely come up.
So
we're
happy.
We're giving our listeners a shorter episode this week, and I'm pretty sure next week will not be a short episode.
Probably not, no.
This is a
And we do have a guest next week as well.
All right, and I think that about wraps it up. And a couple things I want to plug before we go out. First, because I forgot to mention this last week, I realized if you guys, our great, awesome intro came to us, we're using courtesy of Mike Stoney, aka Bulby. If you get a chance, please take a listen to his music over on SoundCloud. And also the podcast that we had mentioned earlier was Groovin' Movies. There'll also be a link in the show notes if you guys are looking for a podcast talking about movies. Definitely take a chance. Listen to that. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook where I'm constantly plugging or showing screenshots of the different games that we're playing.
no plugins, the right word.
Yeah, it's close enough. So I want to thank everybody for listening. And you guys, anything you guys want to plug this week? Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah. It's coming.
Maybe
Soon,
one.
when?
I got
Date when it's coming?
No.
No.
Well, like I said, I've been trying to open up a little t-shirt shop, and I finally got in my test shirts today. And one was really good, and the other one was really shit. And so now I know, and I need to adjust what I'm doing.
There eventually will be games my mom found shirts for you guys to buy. Eventually,
Yes.
it's coming.
We are working.
And for people who don't know, like, part of the reason why I'm not as talkative as everyone else on the show is because I'm actually drawing while I'm doing the podcast. And one of the things I'm drawing right now is a design for a t-shirt. So there you go.
Yeah.
Maybe next week we'll have something.
Hopefully.
I doubt it because next week it's not that far away for us.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Actually, next week we will not have something. Maybe the week after
That
next.
doesn't matter. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for listening. Everyone have a wonderful night, everybody.
Bye.
Ali, 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 bye, bye.
While I was looking at the list of
Dun, 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 dun.
I think that we should